clear. I look at the Republicans and the Democrats as just a political crime family, a gang of 535. That's how many senators and congressmen there are. So I'm not going to be an accessory to the crime. And by voting for a Republican or a Democrat, to me, it's a criminal act. Because when Ron Paul or Rand Paul says to support the Republican Party and Mitt Romney, who is that supporting? Oh, McConnell? Lindsey, the Graham cracker over there? I mean, look at this cast of characters. Bonner? So who are we supporting by taking Ron Paul's word to go after Mitt Romney? Mitt Romney, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. There is nothing that Mittens Romney stands for that one Ron Paul supporter I know could buy into it. Tell me the issue. Tell me one issue that Mittens is on board with what Ron Paul and all of his supporters, and I know a lot of these guys, particularly these young guys that gave all their sweat, their blood, and their money, and to really, really pound the pavement for Ron Paul. So I have to tell you, to me, this is a sellout. Because doing anything with the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, as I said, is doing something with the Bananos or the Gambinos. They're just a crime family with a white shoe label on them. These are the mass murderers, send over drones, start wars, and rob your money. Why would anybody support them unless they're out of their minds?
Gerald, Ron Paul has a great voting record. He's a man of integrity. What are they thinking, telling their constituents, hey, we're going to win with the delegates, don't worry, and then now saying, oh, yeah, go be respectful of Romney, basically, and the same day having Rand come out and make the announcement on Sean Hannity. I mean, if Paul would have come out with a press conference with his son, or if the senator would have come out and explained, we believe it's politics 101, we want to try to influence from within, well, the Pauls don't do politics 101, or at least they hadn't. That's why Ron was loved. The way they did this is so destructive. I mean, do you think it's ham-fistedness, or do you think they lost touch? Because just as somebody who studies this stuff, I couldn't have imagined, but I know you worked in politics as well, something more destructive, more stupid to do. Why do you think they did this? Just starstruck by Romney?
You know, I don't know. I don't know what's inside their head or inside their heart. And I could only speculate that they didn't have a shot at this, and it was a face-saving move not to be excluded completely, and maybe he'll get a little bit of floor time or something. Maybe they cut a little deal like that.
But it's good to be excluded from the...
I agree. As I said, I don't associate with lesser of two evils, and that's what this is. So what Ron Paul and Rand Paul have asked their supporters to do is to support a lesser of two evils. And as I said, show me only one major issue that Ron Paul supporters believed Ron Paul in that Mittens Romney supports. I don't know of any. So I see absolutely no validity in his doing something like this.
Well, I've quietly had high-level Republican media people contact me and basically tell me this was coming, and I didn't even know what to say. I didn't know if they were telling me the truth. I figured they were. They've given me good info before, and just watching a lot of other things happening, Ron Paul was saying they were going to take over the Republican Party, but instead, that mafia, as you've described it, that organized crime syndicate, it's just taking them over. I don't think it's too late, though, for Ron Paul to come out and clarify his stance and try to pull out of this. But if they continue down this road, man, I think this means curtains for the whole Ron Paul franchise.
Well, again, Rand Paul coming out, and correct me if I'm wrong, supporting Romney. Is that right?
Yes, we have the clip. He says he's a great guy.
Yeah. So, I mean, that to me loses all credibility. And there is absolutely, as I said, there's not one issue that Romney stands on that Ron Paul supporters believe in. And here you have Rand Paul, that's supposed to be the follow-up to his father, selling out the folks. And so and that's why I've said, Alex, as you well know, I'm not voting in this election. And my belief is that if less than 40% of the people go to the polls, we can call this an illegitimate election. What are they giving us? A choice between Pepsi and Coke, Burger King or McDonald's. You eat or drink any one of them, it's going to kill you.
Exactly.
So that's our choice of a country of 312 million people, and we got these two presidential reality show candidates left? I mean, did you see Obama on The View? What a disgrace. Sitting there with the ladies of The View, Malai and Sasha and his wife there, Michelle, they make fun of my big ears and my big nose. Could you imagine Eisenhower sitting there? Could you imagine Eisenhower calling up, hey, Mamie, I'm thinking of, should we go invade Normandy today? Ask the kids. As Obama, I asked Malai and Sasha, they have some friends in school that have gay parents, whether or not, we should have this gay bill. Could you imagine Eisenhower doing this? Look at these guys. They're not guys. They're metrosexuals, half man, half woman. Who knows what they are? But I can tell you what they don't have. So by Rand Paul selling out Ron Paul supporters to me, this is the reason why we need a new third party and break the chains from this control that we have. Look, I grew up during the Cold War. They used to say, how they're having an election in the Soviet Union. What a joke. 98% of the people get reelected. Yeah, just like in the United States. What, 96% of the incumbents get back in because they buy the elections? What do you mean buy the elections? Those are campaign contributions. Yeah, how about bribes and payoffs?
Let's expand on that. What do you predict is going to happen next politically now if you have Mitt Romney bought and paid for by Bain Capital, Obama bought and paid for by it? He helped write Obamacare. He's for open borders, gun control, all the things Obama supports. I see no Mitt Romney stickers, only Ron Paul stickers everywhere. The tail is wagging the dog. You predicted the Tea Party 2 years before it materialized. What do you predict comes now? What's going to become of constitutionalists that use Ron Paul as a focal point? What do you see with 5 million guns being sold a month? What do you see in the future of this country? And then let's look at Europe financially and other trends that are on your radar screen.
Well, first of all, on the political end, there's a huge vacuum, and it's waiting to be filled. And now Ron Paul has vacated it. There is no Freedom Party anymore. There's no Constitutional Party anymore. It's gone. And all of this election is going to be, again, it's going to be a corporate media election. And you're the Bilderberg man, you and Webster Tarpley, you're the guys that he put it on the map, you kept it on the map. And what you have done, the whole United States and much of the world should applaud you and your team for putting this out in public, because you got the two Bilderberg buddies fighting it out. That's all this is. May the worst man win, because both of them are nothing more than mouthpieces for the group. So now as you want me to look at what's going on in the world, this was a very important week, and tomorrow is going to be an important day. The Spanish government really desperately needs about 40 billion euros to bail out their banks. They're going to be crying for more euro support. I want to make this really clear. The European Monetary Union charters have been destroyed. They're not worth the paper they're printed on. They're just a lot of crap. They don't abide by them. Countries aren't supposed to get bailed out. The next big thing is, and this is very important, are they going to come out with a Euro bond scheme? We're going to take all these useless bonds from countries like Italy and Spain and Portugal and Greece and Ireland and put them in a basket and call one level on them so they can keep the Ponzi scheme going. They're talking about doing a bond deal that they won't have to pay them off for 25 years.
And again, you said years ago, and Bob Chapman and many others, that exactly this would happen. They implode it by design, claim they're the saviors, and then get everybody even into deeper debt when over 90% of it is derivatives that these gangsters created. It's incredible, and we covered that in the news portion tonight. They're now announcing it. I mean, how much will Europe put up with?
They'll continue to do it, just like they put up in this country. So as long as the systems stay up and they keep the natives from rebelling. That's all they're interested in doing. So I believe they're going to come up with another scheme that's going to keep this thing in check. Now, China just lowered interest rates and dumped more stimulus in. Australia lowered interest rates. India, the rupee is crashing. They're going to dump more stimulus. Inflation and just Brazil lowering interest rates. Their GDP numbers are way off. Russia, look at the price of commodities. Oil prices are plummeting. Why? A lot of it has to do with supply and demand. The demand is not there.
So what we've got is depression in the real economy with certain areas of inflation. That's like a double whammy, isn't it?
You got it. And so they know this. And so this is a big weekend, because if they don't pull, this is the one to watch. If the euro crisis isn't solved, the entire global economy crashes. Most of China's exports go into Europe. The next big market is the U.S. If the U.S. and Europe don't buy, China, Vietnam, Indonesia, India, they don't sell. If they don't make stuff to sell, Australia, Brazil, Chile, Bolivia, they're not exporting natural resources. The entire system is collapsing. The one to watch is Europe. And listen to what Obama's doing already. They're already blaming Europe for the problems over here in the U.S. And the lousy job numbers, one thing after another, productivity numbers, new home sale numbers, you go down the list, they're blaming Europe. Now, having said that, we saw Osama bin Bernanke, America's public enemy #1 yesterday, come out and say, well, we haven't closed the door on QE3. We're still looking at it. Something may happen. Here's my forecast. Watch for the unemployment numbers in June and July, particularly the June numbers when they come out. If they're dismal, count on more QE2. To me, Bernanke is nothing more than a flunky for Obama, just like Greenspan was for Bush 1 and Bush 2. But Bush 1, if you go back to the 1992 elections, they started lowering interest rates and juicing the economy before the 92 election, and they just came up a little bit too short and allowed Bill Clinton to get in there. They won't make this mistake this time. They will do everything to juice this economy before the election, and short of that, if they don't, El Presidente of los Estados Unidos, because we've turned into a banana republic, will start a dandy little war. Hey, you want to send some more drones? How about knocking out Iran? I got to tell you, Alex, we got to stop them Syrians. Hey, look what's going on over there in Yemen. Those Al-Qaedas are loose. Got to get down there in Sudan and Somalia. No, they're going to take us to war if they can't bail us out of the economy to make it look good so Obama wins.
So who are you predicting they're going to put in? Not that it matters between the two.
I think it's going to be Obama. That's our forecast.